And there we go. We are on. Good evening, nerds around the world, and welcome to episode 10. That's right, 10, double digits, of the Nerds Unite as One podcast. I am your host, Paul English. You're probably wondering, how come Caleb ain't hosting? Well, he said he wanted to take a week off to recharge his batteries, and yet he's here for a little while anyway just to spy on us. Caleb, what's up, my friend?
No, guys. I mean, I'm probably hosting this week. I don't have a list or anything. I'm just here, just hanging out for a little while. I probably won't be here the whole time, but no, I just want to pop in for a couple minutes and at least make an appearance. But no, it's just nice having you host, Paulie. So it's good.
Yeah, I'll certainly try to live up to the legacy which you have created, Caleb.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we got a great topic for you today, and to help, I got a kick-ass panel joining me today. Starting off with the man who has been here from the very beginning, our boy from Maryland, Chris Miller. Chris, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, Paul. Just like ready to discuss this subject, and also Seahawks beat the Patriots. Let me stop.
you need to stop running your damn mouth, man. You ain't get. Yeah.
We're actually going to have you know what, I do want to talk about a little Hollywood bet going on regarding football in a second, but first I have another panel to introduce. This guy is a brilliant man when it comes to movies. He's been with us for a while, and he's an intelligent person to be around, and that is Max Visson. Max, how are you?
A brilliant mind, you say.
When it comes to cinema, you've been around a few people. You should know what you're talking about.
He liked Into the Storm, so I don't know
I
about
hated.
that.
Oh my! I hated Into the Storm. That movie is so bad. Oh, I hate this movie so much.
I know, it's so bad. It's so bad.
No, man, I'm happy to be here, and should I say it? Seahawks will beat the Patriots.
Yes,
Never.
Keep me out of this. I'm an Eagles fan. Keep me out of this. Keep me out of this. Keep me out of this.
Okay,
All right.
y'all will know if next week's gonna be, whoa, oh shit, we're not doing that next week. Our next show on our first one on Saturday, I'll either be in a great mood or a really shitty mood, depending on how the game goes.
Okay, so real quick before we get started with this, have you guys heard about the little bet, the Marvel-themed bet going on between Chris Pratt and Chris Evans?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Way that I'm hearing the thing is, if Chris Pratt challenged Chris Evans to a bet, if the Seahawks win the Super Bowl, then Evans has to show up to a Seattle hospital in a Captain America uniform to say hi to all the kids. And if the Patriots win the Super Bowl, then Chris Pratt has to show up to a Boston-themed children's hospital and address the Star-Lord in a Tom Brady jersey and say hi to all the kids. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, that's really cool, and I think what's going to end up happening is, because it's on Twitter, I guarantee you that whoever wins, he'll still do it, because that would be great PR, and I can't imagine that they wouldn't do it. Obviously, they are going to do it. I think it's awesome. I mean, I had no idea that Chris Evans was a huge Patriots fan, so now I follow him on Twitter, and he's a great follow. So yeah, I just think it's awesome, you know. Awesome.
Yes. Chris, any thoughts on that?
I mean, that seems like a really one. I mean, you said they made. I mean, they made a bet, right? He would just.
Yeah, because I believe Chris Evans started talking trash, to Chris Pratt, and he's like, "Oh, if you're so confident, why don't you do this?" And he's like, "Well, then why don't you do this?" So, and it just kind of happened. So.
And so you say if. I mean, I kind of lost track, you know. I was
saying like so whoever loses, the losing person has to go to a hospital dressed as their character.
I mean, that seems like a very wonderful thing to do. Especially just like I think that's the right. That's a good way to settle. That's a good way to settle that, you know. And Evans is a Boston native. I mean, he is.
I had no idea. Goddamn.
Yeah, he's from Massachusetts. He's a local
No,
boy,
I had no
Caleb.
idea about that.
Yes.
No idea.
That makes him
Absolutely,
even
yeah.
more badass. I knew there was a reason I love Captain America. That's why. The guy playing him is from New England.
That's right.
Oh my goodness.
Love it. Love it.
Max,
Love
what
it.
do you think about all this?
I don't think you really
It's
cares.
cool, man. I haven't really looked at my Twitter feed a lot. I retweeted
Yeah, he's like never on Twitter. It's really not cool.
I'm rarely on Twitter. I retweeted like the first 2 tweets Chris Pratt and Evans has posted, but I'm not really on Twitter a lot.
No,
That's okay. I'm not on Twitter at all. I leave the Twitter stuff to Caleb.
that's right.
All right, guys. So, like I said, we have a great topic that we're going to get into. First, however, being the diehard baseball fan that I am, I do have to bring up that there are a couple of people who have left the game from us first. Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks, passed away on Friday at the age of 83. This guy was the first African-American in the history of the franchise and arguably the greatest player in the history of the organization. 500 home runs, Gold Glove shortstop. But what people remember him most for is the smile, the enthusiasm, love of the game.
Let's play too, probably, huh?
Yeah, let's play too. Exactly. He loved playing the game so much. So, Caleb, you are my fellow baseball junkie. Now, what do you think, man?
I mean, listen, it's the loss of an icon, man. I mean, literally, if you talk to anyone that like grew up as a Cub fan, you know, and an older fan, obviously,
yeah,
you know, their first thing would be Ernie Banks. It was really too bad because I believe he played on a bunch of like really, really like bad teams, like really shitty teams.
That he did. In fact, Ernie Banks holds
a lot of
the
last place
record.
teams, right? Yeah.
Ernie Banks holds the record for most games played without never reaching the postseason. Over 2,500 games he played. He
Which
never
is a
made the
shame.
postseason once because the Cubs just
Which is a
sucked during the
shame,
50s.
you know.
It is a shame.
Right, because he was an amazing, legendary Hall of Fame player stuck on really shitty teams. So it's like
Yes, he was.
I believe he said in his whole career the only regret was that he wasn't able to play in a World Series. You know, like he wasn't able to play in the postseason. So
I believe that.
It's a hard loss if you're a baseball fan. So. Which, you know, like, I mean, I'm obviously a huge sports fan in general, so it's a hard loss today for sure, you know.
Yes, indeed. All right, Chris, I know you're not as big a baseball fan as me and Caleb are, but you got any thoughts on this?
Not really. I'm not. I mean, I didn't really know this gentleman. I really didn't know this gentleman too well. I mean, it seems like he left quite a legacy that's really hard to, equal. You know, I mean, it's just like, I mean, but really, you said he had the most record. I mean, the record for being on the most teams that lost or something like that. Or
he played over 2,500 games in his career, and he never once played in the postseason. That is a major league record. He holds that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like there's like a hand in a rotten apple. I mean, but yeah, it seems like, you know, it seems like seems like a really incredible guy, and just let me sort of like a huge inspiration to all. Just, my thoughts go out to him.
Absolutely. Max, you got anything you want to add to this?
I actually never heard of that guy until, like, I saw the news a couple of days ago. I didn't know
Young
who
kid,
he was.
Paul. Young kid. Young kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
He's a youngin. It's good.
I think
I don't know. I really don't know who he is. It's sad for the baseball, the Cubs, but I have no idea who he was.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, it sucks because if you know, there's always that one player for every franchise, and he was definitely the one for the Cubs. So.
Absolutely. I think President Obama said it best when he sent out his condolences. He paraphrased Ernie's Hall of Fame acceptance speech. Said, "Somewhere the sun is shining, the air is fresh, his team's behind him, and Ernie Banks is ready to play too. He will definitely be missed."
Right.
All right. So the next one, Commissioner Alan H. Bud Selig officially stepping down on Saturday night. He was elected interim commissioner in 1992, permanent position in 98. Some of the legacies he did, he prevented the wild card, interleague play, the advanced in technology, MLB.com, MLB Network, instant replay, drug testing. I mean, the guy made baseball a super profitable business. I remember reading somewhere that when he was elected interim commissioner in 92, baseball was a $1.5 billion business. At the time of his retirement, baseball is a $9 billion business. This guy ushered baseball into a new golden age. You could probably make a stand that he's one of the greatest commissioners of all time. And his legacy will definitely never be forgotten. Caleb, what do you think about the legacy of Bud Selig?
I mean, he went through some good times. He went through some rough times, probably. Let's be real.
The strike, steroid era,
the strike,
absolutely.
You steroid. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he was good, but like you said, I really think that baseball needs a salary cap, though, honestly.
They do have one. It's a very soft one, but it's called the luxury tax, and people are paying attention to it.
Yeah, but do the Yankees or the Red Sox care about the
Yes, they do.
Dodgers? No.
Yes, the Yankees do. Have you been hearing Brian Cashman's comments? He's like, I do not want to go over this luxury tax. Fuck that.
I can't see it, Paulie. When your team payroll is what, $300 million? Is that what the Yankees is?
That's the Dodgers payroll. The Yankees actually like $150 now.
I mean, no, it's just like that's the one thing I'd like to see is a hard salary cap because that would just make it better. I mean, listen, obviously I'm a huge Red Sox fan. Just like you, we both bleed red, obviously.
Absolutely.
But you know, I would like to see a harder salary cap. But I think, Bud did good, but he gets a lot of hate. So, is it deserved? Probably not. So,
Chris, I imagine that you were still a young guy in '95 when probably growing up in Maryland, you had access to Baltimore when Cal Ripken broke the streak in '95. That kind of eased a lot of the grief people felt over the strike. You got any thoughts about the legacy of Bud Selig?
Not really, actually. Like I said, what the other gentleman you were talking about, I'm not really familiar with him. I mean, you said he was and you said what was his toughest period? It was like when, during the steroid era.
However, the strike in '94, that was huge.
Nearly killed the game.
When they canceled the World Series, that was just
that
was unheard of. So that's. I mean, the steroid thing was bad, but probably the strike in '94 was probably the worst thing that he's had to deal with. So, but again, overall, he was a good commish. So.
Yep.
He must have. He must have handled the whole controversy behind that, with kind of a bit of humility behind it. I'm pretty sure he had an excellent leadership as commissioner of the league.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Max, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, for sure.
No, I'm not a big sports fan. Sorry.
All right. Ernie Banks, Bud Selig, two legacies that are definitely etched in baseball history. All right, guys, so before we get to our main topic, I do want to go over a theory that I have regarding Ant-Man and the direction Marvel has decided to go with it.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
I was reading, I can't remember the name of the article, but I was reading an article a few weeks ago kind of talking about like the history of Hank Pym in the comic books. And one thing I learned that is interesting, that Hank Pym's kind of an asshole. Like there are times when he cheated on Janet, even beat her. And as soon as I read that, I thought to myself, I see the hand of Disney in this film. The thing is, I think it's easy for a lot of people to forget, given the success of Marvel and given that the name's not on it. Disney owns Marvel Studios, and they have every right to tell Marvel that they can't do something, or what they can. They have every right to tell Marvel what they can and can't do. So, my theory is, when Disney learned more about Ant-Man and learned more about Hank Pym, they started thinking to themselves, we do not want a cheating, wife-beating asshole like this as our main hero. So Marvel, kick him out. Get that other guy, Lang, whoever, And they can't make
Molly, I cannot see that. I cannot see that. Them being that in depth, being like, well, this guy beats women in the comics, so we obviously can't have it in the MCU.
Caleb, it's Disney.
I know it's Disney, but
family friendly
come on.
Disney.
Yeah, but there have been comics about a lot of things. I've seen comics about almost every one of the Marvel characters, like doing shit like that. It's just it's a different spin on the character. Like there's Avengers comics that like Hank Pym is the nicest guy in the world. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I mean, I really don't care. But whatever. I just want a good movie. I don't care. I mean, I wanted Hank Pym because he is Ant-Man. Everyone knows him as Ant-Man. When they were like Scott Lang, I was like, who? I was like, oh, he was the second Ant-Man. So
yeah,
whatever, you know. So.
Well, like I said, that's not from any source. It's just a theory that I came up with. Maybe that's why Marvel went with Scott Lang over Hank Pym, because Disney said, we do not want this white beater as our main hero, so kick him out, all that stuff. Like I said, just a theory I came up with.
I mean, probably this movie, it's still gonna be good though. It's still gonna be better than Iron Man 3, because we all know how that shit pile of movie. So it's still gonna be better than that garbage pile. Max's favorite movie of all time, Iron Man 3. But
I thought it was the best. I don't think it's my favorite film.
Matt Key set you straight, Max. Remember, Matt Key was like, "No, that movie was horrible, Max."
Who cares about Mike Key?
All right.
Who cares, right?
Chris, what do you think about this possible theory of mine?
You're thinking that like people like you thinking that Marvel made Scott Lang as Ant-Man because Hank Pym is known as the comics is a white beating like asshole. That's what you think, right? And
my thinking is Disney found out about that, said we do not want this guy in a film that has our name on it. So no, you cannot use Hank Pym, Marvel. Get Scott Lang and fuck Pym.
I don't know if it's a bit overblown out of proportion. I don't know, something maybe something led to them saying that maybe Scott Lang could be, maybe Scott Carroll is the guy we want as Ant-Man in this film. Disney is, Disney, with Disney, of course you want to, bring in the family audience, you don't want their main hero being some kind of, abuser of women, but I'm not. That seems a little bit far-fetched. I'm not maybe. But I'm not entirely sure if that's plausible.
Hey guys, I'm gonna head out though.
Came up with after reading that article. Max, what do you think?
Wow. Yeah. I don't know. What was it about the theory of Ant-Man? I wasn't really like. Damn.
My theory was, after reading an article that revealed that in the comics, Hank Pym has a history of cheating on Janet and beating her, that Disney, when they found out about it, said, no, our name attached, so Marvel, don't make Hank Pym Ant-Man, make that other guy Scott Lang Ant-Man.
Yeah.
He's fine.
But Scott Lang is Ant-Man. Like, Hank Pym is like the mentor to Scott Lang.
Yeah, but Hank Pym was also the first Ant-Man. He's also the most well-known Ant-Man. I mean, when people think Ant-Man, they think Hank Pym. They don't think Scott Lang.
Yeah, but they're gonna do something like if Marvel says, well, Scott Lang is Ant-Man, that means they have something in mind, right?
Yeah, I guess like I said, I'm not really sure what's the thing of theory of them going on. I don't know why Marvel decided to go with Scott Lang over Hank Pym. Like, that's just something I came up with, but I don't know if there's any credibility to it at all. Okay, guys, so now that we've got that out of the way, let us move on to our main topic of the evening. One of the most important ingredients in a good film, in my opinion, is the soundtrack. It has got to kick ass. It's got to make the movie great. We all love a good soundtrack in a film. So today we are going to be paying tribute to these great things, music, by counting down our top 10 favorite music soundtrack. These are the soundtracks that elevated a film from a good film to an unbelievably fucking epic, awesome movie. Now I got my list all set up. Chris, you got your list ready?
Oh yeah, yes sir. I absolutely do. Yeah, absolutely do. Mm-hmm.
Max, you got a list ready?
Of course.
All right, everyone. So why don't we get started? Max, why don't you get us started then? Give me your top 10 favorite movie soundtracks, please.
Okay, Number 10, I got Goodfellas, directed by Martin Scorsese. That has a really good, really good soundtrack.
Right.
Number 9 is a film that came out recently. Is Jon Favreau's Chef.
Okay.
That film has in my opinion, that film has a really good soundtrack. It just makes you want to go, up your seat and just dance. It's a really good soundtrack.
Yes,
Number
indeed.
8, it's a TV movie. It's underrated. It's the Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour.
Okay.
The Beatles done their movies like Help, Yellow Submarine, A Hard Day's Night. Well, this is actually my favorite Beatles soundtrack, which is it's one of their most underrated, but it has a lot of good songs. Number 7 is every John Hughes movie ever. I couldn't pick just one.
Fair enough.
Yeah, The Breakfast Club is really good. 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink, all of that. I love them. Number 6, every Wes Anderson movie ever. Like I said, I can't just pick one. Rushmore is really good. Grand Budapest, but Moonrise Kingdom is great. Number 5, it's a movie that came out about 2 years ago, which was The Great Gatsby, the Baz Luhrmann's The Great Gatsby. I thought the music, the modern music, fit perfectly with like the 1920s vibe. I thought it was great. Number 4, I have every Paul Thomas Anderson movie ever. Boogie Nights, Inherent Vice, they're all great soundtracks. Number 3,
a good soundtrack.
Yeah, number 3, I got The Wolf of Wall Street. Great 80s music. I've been listening to this every time. Like I watched this movie for the first time in March, and I listened to the soundtrack nonstop. Number 2, I just can't pick one. Every Quentin Tarantino movie ever, from Death Proof to Jackie Brown to Pulp Fiction to Kill Bill.
Yes.
All of those songs, man, they're so good.
I think one of those films may have found its way on my list, but we'll see.
And at number 1, well, I've never repeated a soundtrack so much in my life than this one, which was Guardians of the Galaxy, Awesome Mix Volume 1.
Yes! Oh, great. That one definitely found its way on my list. I think it found its way on all our lists. So, why is this number 1? What is it about this music that you love?
It's so, I was watching it the first time, I'm like, damn, that's a good soundtrack. And then I rewatched the movie, I'm like, wow. Every time they play a song of the film, it fits perfectly that scene, the opening credit sequence with "Come and Get Your Love" and just oh my god, I'm like, I love it. It's my favorite soundtrack of all time so far. Maybe there are gonna be more that are gonna maybe Guardians of the Galaxy 2. That's my
we'll see. You've got that Awesome Mix Volume 2 that his mom left him, so maybe there'll be some great songs on there too. All right, Max, thank you for the list. Those are great choices. All right, Chris, you are up. Give me your top 10 favorite movie soundtracks.
Okay, all right. This is a list that was a very hard. I mean, I wouldn't say it was a very hard list, but there were a lot of tough choices I had in the long run. So here is my top 10. Number 10, Superman by the original 1978 soundtrack was composed and conducted by John Williams and performed by the London Symphony Orchestra.
Yes.
This is one of the great, absolute wonderful movie soundtracks. I highlight John Williams' career. It serves as an added dimension to the film. That wonderful main title theme. It's just like when you hear that across the screen, it's fantastic. It's a little bit more mature than his soundtrack for Star Wars. I mean, but it's equally much more. I mean, it's equally much more. It's equally a much more accomplished score. I just like my favorite cues and my favorite themes are in there. Of course, the Smallville theme, which he composes, and also like the love theme, which is done in the film, and many of the other scores in the series don't really match up to what he created for that first film. Just an absolutely magical piece of work, just breathtaking, among his best, and probably one of the great movie soundtracks. Number 9, yes, that's right. Number 9, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh yes.
Yes, Raiders, another John Wayne soundtrack, and this is.
I imagine John Williams found your way on your list quite a bit.
You can say let's just say he covers half the list. You know.
What? He's a legend. I mean.
Yes, he's absolutely a legend. Absolutely. It's just like it's like anyone you can ask anyone on the street, you know, who John Williams is. I mean, other than any other soundtrack composer in history, they'll know who he is. And Raiders is one of those movies which explains, and this which shows us why. Just like when you listen to it, especially with that, it's like this is so writ large, and especially that, you know, the Raiders March, you know, it's a little bit more melodramatic than the score to say Star Wars or Raiders of the Lost Ark, but it's just like I said, this is another soundtrack that's absolute gold. That's an absolute gold highlight. That's an absolute highlight of Williams' career.
Yeah.
Okay, that was number 9. Number 9, right?
Yeah, that was number 9.
All right. All right. And number 9. Okay, number 8 is The Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring.
Still have yet to see those movies.
Oh, come on, Paulie. Like, really?
Middle-earth has never really interested me. I'll get around to it at some point. I'll watch the first one. I'll watch Fellowship.
Get around to it. I mean, just be careful with those Hobbit movies, though. By the way, just like they can drag on a bit long. But yeah, Howard Shore, he delivers a grand, majestic, operatic score. Just like you hear it. This is very ominous and bombastic in certain parts. I like one of my favorite parts is the Fellowship. One of my favorite parts is the Fellowship Ring. And there are other and you know, of course, the singer Angus' contributions. She created a couple of songs for this film. They add something serene to the score and give it balance. It's not really melodic as to say like, you know, Gone with the Wind or Star Wars, but it is. But it is. It gives the movie. It gives it enough presence, you know, to the film. I would say. Yeah. Number 7 would have to be E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
Oh, great music.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Just like a wonderful movie score. Just like, you know, E.T. didn't really interest me much when I was a kid, I guess. I mean, but yeah, this movie, this is absolutely special. Just like it completely captures the mystery, the uncertainty, and the wonder of the film. It's just like it's one of those scores that that equally as tells the story as any of the visuals do. You know, it's just like it's not really. I mean, it's just for the most part, there are obtrusive background moves for the story, and it is eerie in some parts, but you know, it's overall an excellent soundtrack. You know, by the way.
To a great movie.
Okay, what was it? Number 6? Are we on
you're up to number 6.
All right, number 6. Number 6 would have to be Jaws. No, wait, I'm just kidding. It had to be King Kong. It's just the original King Kong, you know.
33 one?
It's the 33 one from
okay.
Yeah, from Max Steiner. This is like one of the most historic soundtracks in movie history. It is the first. The first. It's like how should I say this? Like, it's the. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, it did completely revolutionize movie music. I mean, and it put the composer Max Steiner on the map. I mean, it's a very moody and very atmospheric score that lends itself well lends itself well to the film, and also just I mean it's you know it is I don't know what to say about it. It's just like it's just absolutely it's a complete masterpiece. Okay, all right, we're at number 5 now, I believe.
Yes, yes you are.
Oh, all right. Number 5 would have to be Jaws.
Smile.
You ever seen that movie?
Music.
Smile. I mean, of course, yeah, Smile. Of course, that you have that piece. The piece. You had that that unforgettable motif. Like boom, 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 boom. I mean, what can you say about that?
Builds up that tension, makes your heart race.
I know, absolutely, it absolutely does. It's just like that is just that is probably like the perfect for me. It's like the perfect musical embodiment of terror and fear, and and it's absolutely the centerpiece of the film. And it's and you can see why it's part of so many comedy sketches. By the way, yeah. This is a very suspenseful, tense, frightening score. And it put Williams on the map, of course. And of course, without it, we probably would have gotten him to do Star Wars. By the way, this is.
Oh yeah, if I recall correctly, John Williams won an Oscar for that score of Jaws.
Oh yeah. It was his second Oscar that he won for that was his second Oscar that he won, but and rightfully so. I mean, it's just like that's not just for that Sark theme alone. There are other many memorable musical phrases throughout that film, and also it sounds very Hitchcockian as much as it feels very Hitchcockian, very Bernard Herrmann-esque. And this approach. I mean, this is absolutely one of the scores that began this superstar soundtrack composer's career, and one of the highlights of a very, very long, distinguished, and accomplished career.
Indeed.
Yes, absolutely. And number 4 for me would have to be Lawrence of Arabia. Have you ever seen Lawrence of Arabia?
I've seen a clip of it that had Alec Guinness in it. My parents wanted to know if I recognized him, and I said yes. The voice gave it away, but I have never seen that movie in its entirety. No.
Because you recognize Alec Guinness from Star Wars,
Yeah.
Of course, as Obi-Wan Kenobi. But yeah, the soundtrack for this movie is done by a man by the name of Maurice Jarre, French composer, and he would have done many other films, but one is the highlight of his career. It probably matches the film's grand, sweeping visuals and just hypnotic and bombastic. It's just like the massive meshing of percussion and strings. It's just like this score really holds nothing back. I like I like the Middle Eastern inspired. I don't think in terms of epic movie scores go, I don't think there's can come close to this. I mean, this is absolutely. This is one of the all-time greats in film music history. Number 4 would have to be for me.
You're just at 4.
Say that again.
You were just at 4. You're up to number 3.
Yeah, I said 3. Yeah, I said 3.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Number 3 for me would have to be the Adventures of Robin Hood, and this is from a film. This is a score for a film that was done in 1938 by a man named Eric Wolfgang Korngold. He was a
great
Vietnamese.
Music to that movie.
Oh, you seen it?
Yes, I got around to seeing it a couple months ago. Good film. There's a review for it on my fan page. You can check it out.
Oh yeah, I forgot to check it out though. Yeah, this is like Errol Flynn. Flynn by Warren Brothers. This is a wonderful, exciting film, and it has a colorful, wonderful, exciting soundtrack to match.
Yeah.
And this is one of the great movie scores. This is like, this is like Corngo is, and this is also another score that really helped evolve film music as we know it today. I mean, of course, and it also inspired John Williams when he did the soundtrack for Star Wars. That kind of bombastic, loud, brassy kind of score. This is one of the highlights. I mean, this is absolutely just like one of the greatest scores. And this is. I mean, and I recommend it to anybody who is an enthusiast in this genre. And number 2, would have to be Gone with the Wind, which is a score that was done by Max Steiner, as I said, who did the score for the original King Kong. As I said, never seen Gone with the Wind?
I've seen the first half of it. I have not seen the second half. I don't know how people in those cases could sit through like a 4 or 5 hour movie. Like, there's no way I could do that.
Are you serious? The film is great. I mean, yeah, of course it's over, it's over 75 years old, but it managed to. But like some, like you, Paulie. I'm not trying to get on you, but yeah, it manages to keep your interest for about 4 or 4 hours. Kept my interest. Steiner's score is one of the elements that does that. It's just like this is, like I said, this score is an absolute legend throughout film history. And this is a score I tried to get. This is a score I tried to get like so many different times. I've never been able to find. This film score has a very melodramatic and very romantic style, and the compositions are absolutely beautiful in this movie. This is it's just sweeping in this grandeur, and there's romanticism. I don't think there's no other score that can absolutely equal any other in film history. This is absolutely like one of the great film soundtracks of all time. Max Steiner's Gone with the Wind. Go check it out. And number 1. My favorite movie score of all time. The number 1 movie score.
Drum roll, please.
Oh God. Star Wars.
Of course.
Of course. What is there that can't be said about Star Wars? The opening fanfare. Princess Leia's theme. Ben Kenobi. The Death Star
Vader, the Empire.
Yes, this is one of the most famous movie soundtracks of all time. It is iconic. It is wonderful to listen to. Big, brassy, bold. Classical in the style and nature. John Williams is just like. It must be thanking George Lucas profusely for having to work on this movie. And the performance of the London Symphony Orchestra in the soundtrack is an absolute highlight of this movie. I like how how Williams creates a score that's derived from composers like Wagner and Holst and from old Hollywood like Korngold, Steiner, Newman, and all those guys. I know guys are not familiar with that, but the style of Star Wars' music is very much derived from those types of genres. Some people will call it overblown romanticism, call it tiresome, but I don't think so. It's not. It manages to excite you. It manages to get you into the movie. John Williams is very much a musical storyteller, and it proves it so much so with Star Wars. I don't think there's ever been a great combination between film and score. I don't think no film has ever quite married music with the visuals as much as the movie score for. Like I said, one of the great movie scores of all time. Just like an absolute. Blast to look. It's like masterpiece.
You'll get no argument from me here, sir. The music is one of the few things that I love about the prequel trilogy. Say what you want about it. The music was awesome. That final battle in Episode 3 between Anakin and Obi-Wan, that's like my favorite fight of all time in cinema history, and the music of it just elevates it to that absolute epic status. So the music of Star Wars is just unbelievable.
I think the music is all right in the prequels. So it's not bad, but you can tell he reused music, for episode. He reused the music. With episode 2, he reused the music for episode 1 to put it into that.
Oh, I'm sure, but I mean, you still can't say the prequel was good.
Yeah, but you have Duel the Face and Across the Stars.
Oh, Duel the Face. Love that music. Matt, it sounds like you were trying to chime in quite a bit. Something you'd like to say about this, Chris's list?
I mean, I love Duel of the Fates, man. It's my favorite John Williams song ever. Like, it's epic as hell.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
I didn't like Menace, but man, I love Duel of Fates.
Who doesn't? Even if you hate episode 1, you gotta love that song. All right, Chris. Thank you very much. All right, so guys, I got my list on here, and I gotta tell you, this was like so hard for me to do. I wound up leaving off a lot of unbelievable soundtracks to the point where I have to do an honorable mention to this before I get to my number 10, and that is Disney's George of the Jungle. I love the theme song to this, but what I particularly love about this movie is that it introduced me to my wedding song. If I ever get married, this is the song that will be playing when my wife and I take the dance floor for the first time, and that is Dela by Johnny Clegg and Savuku. Great, unbelievable love song, and it pained me that I had to leave that movie off my list, but great music. All right, so here's my list, guys. My top 10 favorite movie soundtracks. Number 10, American Pie 2. I love the American Pie film, and the music plays such a big part of it. All the rock tracks you get out of it just adds to the fun, the laughs of this movie. I mean, it's a great rockin' soundtrack to a fun film. Number 9, Pulp Fiction. Iconic soundtrack, memorable music. I remember hearing an interview that Quentin Tarantino did while I was watching Pulp Fiction, and he talked about how he writes scenes to songs. And that scene where John Travolta is going through Uma Thurman's apartment, you hear "Son of a Preacher Man" by Dusty Springfield playing. Quentin said that he wrote that scene specifically to that song, and that if he could not get that song from Dusty, he would have taken that scene out completely. That's how much the song meant to that scene, and that's how much Quentin loves the music. And, I mean, it's an iconic soundtrack. You gotta love Pulp Fiction's music. All right, number 8. There's gonna be a lot of Disney films on my list, so be ready. This is the first. Number 8, Aladdin. I mean, Arabian Nights. Never Had a Friend Like Me. And how do you not fall in love with A Whole New World the first time you hear it? That is one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. A highlight of a great soundtrack to an awesome film. I want that film out so I can hear the music. Please, Disney, get it happening. All right, number 7, Brother Bear. Underrated Disney film in my opinion, but I love the music. Phil Collins nails it again. I love this guy's music. I have a couple of those songs from that film on my iPhone. Oh my god! But not just Phil, but Tina Turner, Blind Boy Development. I mean, unbelievable fucking soundtrack to an underrated Disney film. You guys should check it out if you get a chance. All right, number 6, The Road to El Dorado. Great film with that fun action pack, and just like The Lion King, Elton John fucking delivers on this soundtrack. Once again, I got 2 of those songs on my iPod. I got the theme and I got the Trail We Blaze. Oh my god, wonderful music. I love these songs to this film. It adds this epic feel to the film. It's a great soundtrack to another awesome film. All right, number 5, Disney's Tarzan. I mean, once again, this is like a great underrated 90s classic for me. 90s Disney. And Phil Collins delivers with the soundtrack. I got like 3 of his songs for this film on my iPod. He won an Oscar for this film for "You'll Be in My Heart." Lovely song. Oh my god!
How could you go wrong with Phil Collins, though, man?
You can't go wrong with Phil Collins. The guy's a genius when it comes to music.
Absolutely.
All right, number 4, Space Jam. One of my favorite guilty pleasures, and the music to this song, this movie, is just so much fun. One thing, I got 2 of the songs on my iPod. I got "Fly Like an Eagle" by Seal, and R. Kelly's "I Believe I Can Fly." Great music to it. One of my favorite childhood nostalgic classics. All right, number 3, a Goofy movie. One of my favorite Disney films from the 90s. These are when Disney films were good. And the soundtrack of this film just rocked, highlighted by Eye to Eye and Stand Out by Powerline, who is voiced by R&B singer Tevin Campbell. I love these songs so much. I had to buy the whole album from iTunes to get the music. I don't care. I love this music. All right. Number 2, Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. But it's Guardians of the Galaxy. I love the music of this film. Every song just adds to the scenes. Max, you already went over it. I really can't say anything more than what you said.
Yeah.
All right. So my number 1, my all-time favorite movie soundtrack, The School of Rock. I love this film, but there's a very special reason why this soundtrack is number 1 to me. When I was in grade school, I got swiped up in the whole boy band thing, the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC. I liked those guys when I was like 10. I was like, looking back, I was like, what the hell was I thinking? And then I saw this film. It introduced me to the magic and the power of rock and roll. I said goodbye to boy bands forever, and I became a rock music lover. My playlist is like a rock and roll encyclopedia now. I got everything from Elvis to Shinedown, everything in between, all kinds of rock genres. It's the music that I love right now, and I owe it to the School of Rock, and for that reason, it is my number 1 favorite movie soundtrack of all time.
Great soundtrack. Absolutely great soundtrack. Absolutely great.
All right, guys, I think that about wraps it up. That's all the lists we've gone on. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me here today. Chris, it was a pleasure having you on as always.
Oh, yeah, absolute pleasure. Love doing this with you guys. This whole thing has been a blast. Wonderful time.
Yes, and Max, we thank you for joining us as well.
Yeah, no problem, Paul. Anytime.
All right, and I just want to bring this up to everyone. I think Caleb may have brought it up, but I just want to remind everyone, this is the final time that we will be doing our shows on Mondays. Starting next week, we will be moving our main shows to Saturday nights. So our next show will not be on Monday, February 2nd. It will be on Saturday, February 7th. I'm still not 100% sure what the topic is going to be. I'm still working out the details on it of what we're going to do for it, but as soon as I get the details straight, I will let everyone know on our fan page, on the group we run, so keep your eyes open. But like I said, our next show will be Saturday, February 7th. So guys, thank you very much. This has been episode 10, counting on our top 10 favorite movie soundtracks. I'm Paul English. Have a great day, everyone.
All right.